incident occurred. A man from Beaver Falls was jailed on Monday for killing a pit bull named Ace. Aliquippa police got a complaint on March 7, 2025 after Ace was dead when arriving at the hospital. 24-year-old Brandon Miller had a domestic dispute with his girlfriend and threw the dog down the stairs at a home near Baker Street. Miller was given an arrest warrant for neglect and aggravated cruelty of animals and is now in the Beaver County Jail without incident. The American Red Cross of Greater Pennsylvania is encouraging people to donate on March 26th on Red Cross Giving Day. You can give financially or give either platelets or blood to those that need them. During March, those that give $140 or more can receive a pair of socks or a Red Cross monopack. You will also receive a $10 Amazon gift card in your email if you give plasma, platelets, or blood during March. You can visit redcross.org for more information or to donate. The parents of missing University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Konanki are asking that their daughter would be announced deceased after she disappeared in the Dominican Republic. It has been since March 6th since she was last seen in Punta Cana. The passport of Joshua Ribe, who was the last person to allegedly see Konanki, was confiscated. The attorney of Ribe requested release on Monday, and according to an official, a judge is expected to issue a ruling today. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report that an unidentified female driver caused a single-vehicle crash in Darlington Township on March 4, 2025. Police were investigating a hit-and-run on Elizabeth Street that day at around 4:30 p.m. The woman hit the vehicle into the rocks of her yard near the road during the crash. No leads of investigation were identified. Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano reports that a woman was apprehended for possessing crack cocaine and using a fake identity on March 3, 2025. Aliquippa police stopped Rebecca Welch near Highland Avenue and State Route 51. Welch had a bench warrant that was active for her arrest and did not provide police her real name. Welch was taken to jail, and 2 charges were filed against her. Officials in Pennsylvania say 17 people were taken to hospitals after their charter bus carrying a group of bagpipers from a St. Patrick's Day parade crashed into a tractor trailer. WBRE-TV, WYOU-TV reports that the bus was exiting westbound Interstate 84 in northeastern Pennsylvania shortly before 6:30 p.m. Sunday when it ran into the tractor trailer. Jefferson Township Volunteer Fire Department Chief Mike Schaefer says no one was inside the truck. A Pennsylvania State Police spokesperson says the bus was carrying the Greater Scranton Black Diamonds Pipe Band and their injuries were minor. The Trump administration's effort to eliminate the U.S. Department of Education is facing strong opposition from the Pennsylvania State Education Association, which calls it unacceptable. Here's more from Daniel Smith.
The mass firing of 1,300 employees is seen as part of a broader plan to dismantle the department. Aaron Chafin with the association says Pennsylvania educators and support staff are concerned about the effects the firing would have on public education. He says the potential loss of Pennsylvania's $1.6 billion in federal education funding would deeply impact the state's most vulnerable students.
$600 million of that goes to our Title I schools. Almost $400 million goes to special education programs. About 20% of our students in Pennsylvania receive special education services.
Chafin adds that federal funding supports the jobs of nearly 7,000 Pennsylvania educators and support staff, and losing it would send class sizes soaring. He adds that it would also jeopardize special education services and hurt communities.
This newscast is being brought to you by St. Barnabas. We will check your Beaver County radio weather forecast after this.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
Here's the Beaver County forecast Sunny and mild today. We'll see a high near 66. Mostly clear tonight. We'll drop down to a low around 46. Partly sunny and breezy tomorrow with a chance of showers through the overnight. We'll reach a high near 73 and a low around 49. And breezy with rain expected on Thursday. Look for a high near 57 and a low around 29. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
Hey, it is Tom Young. We're here to change your future.
Wait. I knew you were that excited. Let Noah do the sign up. You came in here, and I knew you were going to do that. Noah, do what you do.
This is WBBP WMBA radio on all the stations that Eddie will tell you where you can reach it at. And I'm Tom Young, the financial coach. I'm here once a month on the third Tuesday of every month to turn up the element. Let's turn up the juice in the radio studio here.
All right, let's do it.
It is happy stuff out there. We have the president in the White House.
Right. I knew. Honest to goodness. First off, let me do my professional garbage and get out of your way. This is being live streamed on our Facebook page. Tom Young. We've done this a few times.
A few times.
And you got a spring in your step in general after the health scare. That came back, and I was glad to see that. But you came in. You remember Tigger bouncing on his tail? Boing, boing, boing.
Yeah.
You came in with the energy of Tigger. That's it.
I like the chair. It's got a spring in the chair, too.
All right. Well, what are you so excited about? Please share.
I'm alive. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's springtime.
Yeah.
I'm alive. Let's offer a prayer for everybody.
First.
Dear God in heaven, pray for all of us for the stupidity and the things that we do dumb every day in our striving to be better in your eyes and to become the person that you expect us to become. We pray for all the conflicts in the world, that hopefully this war in Ukraine and Russia looks like it's possibly going to come to an end. And we pray for Israel and what's going on there. We pray for America. We finally have a leader in America that is going to bring back what we believe America should be. In Jesus' name we pray.
It's one of the best prayers I've heard in a little bit.
Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, you opened with, "We're stupid, please help us."
Please help us. We are all the product of that, and I've got a whole litany of things to talk about today. And I want to talk about life insurance. I want to talk about economics, finance. I have enough out here, Eddie. I'm going to be here for the next 3 hours for you to help you out.
Oh, dude, seriously? I can always tell, Tom, for those of you not watching this is being, it's on our Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. Tom comes in, and every show he lays out papers. The console is absolutely covered, so I know we're good. You want to go 3 hours? We'll go 3 hours.
We'll go 3 hours.
You filled in for me. You know how this stupid job is. Yeah, you want to do it?
When we look and I don't want this to be a political show today, but we got to talk about Doge. And the people. It's amazing. The people that are fighting this obviously have their hand in the cookie jar. When they're sending millions and billions of dollars around the world for everything from well, we won't talk about that one, but, Sesame Street in Pakistan and all of this stuff, somebody's getting a kickback somewhere, Eddie. We know the reality of it. Send me some money, I'll give you a little bit back. And that's really what is going on. And unless we turn this government around and cut it back in a huge, huge way and make it more efficient, America is going to end the way we know it. That there is no future for America as it stands right now with $36 trillion of debt. And I have to say this. I went on last night to the usdebtclock.org that I always have numbers.
You
every
always
month.
Come in with that number.
And you know what? The numbers last night, they changed the screen, Eddie. A couple years ago, they changed the screen and they took some stuff away. And what is gone now? the unfunded liability. You know, the promise for Social Security, Medicare, Part A, B, and D,
right.
and the government and the military, all of their benefits and pensions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The last number I saw was $226 trillion. And
why do you
that's
think
no longer on the screen.
Why do you think they would take it down?
Well, I think as people in America are waking up, I really believe that. People are waking up slowly but surely to the reality of what has been going on in Washington. And if we look and pay attention to what's going on in Washington, I always say, what do you think Wall Street's like? In other words, the financial world where you're looking for your savings for your retirement and life insurance to protect your family and your future.
Right.
What do you think that arena is like? I think we need Doge to literally go across the spectrum in America. All of the public and things that we look at that are the most important things that we do in life. They need to be examined by Doge. The post office, we always joke about the post office. They never make any money. And
right.
Isn't it interesting, when Doge started to open the door to the post office, the person that was head of the postal service, she quit. She resigned and left. So why would that be? I don't know. And now we got the auto pens that they're talking about. So now the chance is that Biden was some recluse off in a room somewhere. They put him out there for show, but there was nobody signing anything. He wasn't signing anything. Somebody else was using an auto pen and duplicating his signature. And God help me.
I love when you say you're not going to get into something and the passion takes over and you instantly get into it.
I've been self-employed, Eddie, for 49 years.
Yeah.
I've run my own business. I've made my own way. I haven't had a paycheck from a company for actually 53 years. I've been self-employed and 49 years in the financial service, because before that I had Tom's Auto Body. I had an automobile business. And so I've always made my own way, good, bad, or indifferent. When I made dumb decisions, I had to suffer through it and suck it up, and I had to fix it. And I have done that through COVID, challenged me. And last year, thank you, Lord, was the best year that I've ever had in my career.
Really?
In business. And it was amazing to look at the end of the year and look at the numbers. It is just a blessing from the Lord above, is all I can say.
I don't want to take you off your topic, but the self-employed, writing your own check, what is the best part of knowing that that's your life, and what is the scariest part of that's knowing your life? Because most people will never know what it's like to be self-employed because they won't step out of their comfort zone.
It looks. I look back now, Eddie, and maybe I can answer it this way.
Okay.
All of my life, my adult life in business, there's always been ups and downs. Life brings ups and downs in everybody's life. They're always there. Some important mom, dad passes away. I mean, there's always this ebb and flow of life. And what I learned early on, some of the dumb decisions I made that caused a downturn because I was lazy. I didn't do what I knew that I was supposed to do, but I procrastinated and I didn't do it. And I caused my own downturns, my own lulls.
You did it
valleys.
to yourself. Did you know you were doing it to yourself when you were doing it, or is it, hindsight?
Sometimes yes.
Yeah.
And I would to go into the closet and have a conversation with myself in the mirror, and I have done that a lot of times. Now, I have read 1,000 books in 50 years, self-help, personal growth. And I have, I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand, you get the idea? In other words, you have to decide to program you. Now, when I look at the ebbs and flows of my career, and I have a graph that shows the downs and the ups, what excites me, Eddie, is every time there's a down, a period of a lull or a challenging time. See, God only gives you challenges to make you be better by. That's really what challenges are. You can take them as negative and be a negative thought and, oh, woe is me. Or you can say, okay, what can I learn from this so I can be better next time? And that has always been Not always, but it's what I learned to do. And when I look at the downs in my career, the next up was always bigger than the last up. Does that make sense? You know, when
There
I go
was
through
growth.
ebbs and flows, the next
Right.
flow, the next up,
The high
is
was higher than
generally
the
higher
last
than
one.
the last high.
Got you.
I mean, COVID was a bad time for everybody, but here I am now. Last year, I had the best year of 49-year career of being self-employed. So how can I get it? How can I not be excited when challenges come along? I have to learn how to handle those challenges. And we all have to do that in life. You lose your job, you pout a little bit and you suck it up and you go find another job. Maybe it's lower, but you got to move on. You have to keep going. There's no quit in life. I always tell people the Blue Bridge between Rochester and Monaca.
Yeah.
If you really want to quit, go out to the middle of the bridge, jump. Otherwise, tomorrow morning you're going to get up. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be looking for something to eat. Now you're back in the same quandary that you were in before. I've got to do something, and if it is to be, it's up to me. Is the only way I can answer that, and I feel blessed. I have a wonderful family and a wife that stuck by me through all of the thick and the thin and the dumb and the stupid. Which we all go through. It's life. It's what life is. Mm-hmm. But are you working on you to be better? In other words, what book have you read recently that's a growing book? Something that would help you become a better person, that would take you to another level in your employment. You know, we cry about, I'm not making enough money. Well, what are you doing for you to make you more marketable in the employment scene to get a higher paying job? See, growth is not optional. You either decide to grow you or the world grows you into what they want you to be. And they use you and take all your money away from you, and you end up in the 95%. The story, I've told the story, 95% of the people end up dead or dead broke. And that's the Bureau of Labor and Statistics from the federal government. That's not my number. That's the government's number in studies that have gone on for 50 years.
Is it fear or is it laziness? The people, because your commercials talk about helping people and redefine what they are. When people don't do that, how much of it is fear and how much of it is complacency?
I think it's more, I don't believe people are lazy.
Okay.
I think they're uninspired. They're uninspired because they don't believe that they can do that. In other words, when I got in trouble 35 years ago with the lawsuit that I went through, and I've told that story on here, and I joined the Amway business. Now, a lot of people think of the Amway business, selling soap to your neighbors. Baloney. I'm going to tell you right now, if you build an Amway business and you listen to the upline, the people that sponsored you, you can become an awesome business person, because selling and marketing products is just a business, is all it is.
Right.
And Amway has their own unique products, and they're the only products that are 180-day absolute money-back guaranteed, even if you use the product. Go to Kmart, buy something, go home, empty the bottle, take the bottle back, see, I didn't like this, and see if they'll give you your money back.
Good luck.
Amway will.
Yeah.
And they will pay for the shipping. They pay for 100% of your cost to buy something. Now, that's enough ad for that, because I'm still involved in the Amway business. I'm still a distributor for the Amway business.
They've been around a long time, and a lot of other similar businesses have come and gone.
They are today by far the largest direct selling business in the world. They have been challenged by the EPA over the years, and they have won every time they were challenged and told, well, this isn't what you are, and anyway, on and on. But back to what I was saying, you got to want to be better, Eddie. You have to want it. When I had my garage and I sold my garage and I floundered around for a few months, and I just said, I never want to work on cars again. And after 6 months, I spent and lost all the money that I had made when I sold the business. I had built a wrecker. I sold a wrecker truck that,
Right.
So I had money. And so for 6 months, I said, I'm looking for one of those good jobs in the mill, with benefits and all that kind of stuff.
Steady job, come home same time.
And I went and I applied a collapsible tube in Rochester. I don't remember the man's name, but I knew the guy that owned the company because I was I was a businessman, so I belonged to the Chamber of Commerce. So I knew all the business people. So here I am. I show up at this guy's office with a resume, and he's got an ad for jobs working in the machine shop, and I had no problem with knowing how to do that because I had done lathe work with automobile engines and things that I have done. And so we're sitting there talking, and he looks at me and he says, Tom, he said, I'm not going to hire you. I said, what do you mean you're not going to hire me? He says, I know you could go down in that shop and run any machine down there better than the guys that are down there running it right now.
However,
but he said, you were self-employed. You have eaten, you drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah. And so 6 months from now, you're going to be gone. You're going to find the next thing in your life that's going to take you to the next thing. And
that's the nicest compliment of a job denial I've ever heard.
It was, and it really made me think. So 2 days later, I went to Beglan Ford in Bridgewater, and I got a job. They hired me instantly because of my background, and I worked there for exactly 1 year and 1 day, and I left and went to the insurance business as a life insurance salesman. And there were 60 agents in the office. The first year I was there, I led the office. I was the number one agent at the end of my first year. They made me a sales manager. At the end of that year, I took over a staff that was ranked 88 out of 95 in the region. And at the end of the year, we were 11th in the region. And I looked how much money that I made for all the people on the staff because I had to go out and work with each one of I had 7 people, so I had to work every day with one of them. And I always had the appointment. I always had the prospect to go talk to. So at the end of the year, when I looked at how much money I had made these 7 people, when 90% of the business was all my prospects.
God bless you.
Because that was my role as the sales manager. And I came to realize in that position, it was my job to bring somebody into the business, use all their prospects up, and if they learned and made it, great. If they didn't, next. You hire somebody else and another list of prospects, and you go do that. And I went back to being an agent at the end of that second year. In the third year with the company, I was 86 in the company out of 25,000 agents at the end of the year. And then I resigned, and I said, I couldn't do for me, Eddie, what they were telling me to do for you. What they were telling me to sell you, and the way they were telling me to do it, I couldn't do it for me. So I just...
The passion wasn't there.
I loved it. I learned to love what I did because to me it was the opportunity of a lifetime. Having no high school and none of that and no college out of high school.
Right.
And let's take a break and I can see you're fidgeting over there. So I see it's 28 after, and we'll
there are certain times in the hour. Yeah, there are certain times in the hour I get more twitchy. You're good till noon, right?
But however long you want me to stay.
Oh, you're good till Friday. My goodness.
It's hard to even put a title on what Tom Young at First Consultants in Beaver does. Calling him a financial planner or an insurance salesman or even a life coach still doesn't accurately describe the experience. That's because he brings dreams back to life or puts life back into retirement.
My job is to create in you the vision of the you that I think you can be, the place that I think you can get to. And you know what? I get frustrated because I see more greatness in people than they see in themselves. I see greater financial futures than they see in themselves. Most people don't believe they can get there.
Find out more by visiting firstconsultantsinc.com or engage in Tom Young's live simulcast presentation on the third Tuesday of each month beginning at 9:10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio and Facebook Live. All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is in no way affiliated with First Consultants Inc., nor is First Consultants Inc. a registered investment advisor.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
There's lots to look forward to this month. The promise of spring, daylight savings, and warm weather ahead. But nothing compares to Ford Truck Month going on now at Moon Township Ford. It's the real star of the show along with incredible financing. March over to Moon Township Ford now and get a 2025 Ford F-150 XL or a 2024 F-150 Lightning XLT with 0% APR financing for 36 months. There's equally great financing on Ford Escapes like 0% for 48 months on a 2025 Ford Escape SE. Ford Truck Month was made for truck owners looking to put themselves in a new model for less. It happens every year and allows you to save the most money on your truck purchase because of available incentives. Huge savings at Moon Township Ford are a guarantee during every Ford Truck Month event. Visit the showroom on University Boulevard across from Robert Morris and help kick off the biggest and best financing of the year on the best Ford has to offer.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Tuesday, March 18th of 2025. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. An Aliquippa man was given a prison sentence of 10 years last week for trafficking cocaine and heroin around and in Beaver County. 27-year-old Kijana Lowe got the sentence after him and 5 others were charged for purchasing and distributing cocaine and heroin. 2 of the other 5 men have escaped and have charges pending. 2 others got prison sentences after pleading guilty. The other man is waiting for a trial after being incarcerated. On Saturday, a fire broke out in Zelienople from a car that went to several houses in the area, which caused 4 people to be displaced. The fire occurred on Timberbrook Court at about 9 p.m. According to Zelienople police, a car jump starter with a lithium battery may have been the starter of the fire. Police also confirmed that the car has a recall for risk of fire from its trailer hitch module. Nobody was injured after the incident occurred. A man from Beaver Falls was jailed on Monday for killing a pit bull named Ace. Aliquippa police got a complaint on March 7, 2025, after Ace was dead when arriving at the hospital. 24-year-old Brandon Miller had a domestic dispute with his girlfriend and threw the dog down the stairs at a home near Baker Street. Miller was given an arrest warrant for neglect and aggravated cruelty of animals and is now in the Beaver County Jail without incident. Gas prices are 4 cents lower in western Pennsylvania this week at around $3.41 per gallon. That's according to AAA East Central's gas price report. The report states that at this time a year ago, the average price for gas in western Pennsylvania was around $3.72. The report also notes that the average price that you can expect for a gallon of unleaded gas here in Beaver County is around $3.55. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report that an unidentified female driver caused a single vehicle crash in Darlington Township on March 4, 2025. Police were investigating a hit and run on Elizabeth Street that day at around 4:30 p.m. The woman hit the vehicle into the rocks of her yard near the road during the crash. No leads of investigation were identified. The American Red Cross of Greater Pennsylvania is encouraging people to donate on March 26th on Red Cross Giving Day. You can give financially or give either platelets or blood to those that need them. During March, those that give $140 or more can receive a pair of socks or a Red Cross monopack. You will also receive a $10 Amazon gift card in your email if you give plasma, platelets, or blood during March. You can visit redcross.org for more information or to donate. The Trump administration's effort to eliminate the U.S. Department of Education is facing strong opposition from the Pennsylvania State Education Association, which calls it unacceptable. Here's more from Danielle Smith.
The mass firing of 1,300 employees is seen as part of a broader plan to dismantle the department. Aaron Chafin with the association says Pennsylvania educators and support staff are concerned about the effects the firing would have on public education. He says the potential loss of Pennsylvania's $1.6 billion in federal education funding would deeply impact the state's most vulnerable students.
$600 million of that goes to our Title I schools. Almost $400 million goes goes to special education programs. About 20% of our students in Pennsylvania receive special education services.
Chafin adds that federal funding supports the jobs of nearly 7,000 Pennsylvania educators and support staff, and losing it would send class sizes soaring. He adds that it would also jeopardize special education services and hurt communities.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Sunshine expected today. We'll see a high near 66. Mostly clear tonight. We'll drop down to a low around 46. Partly sunny and breezy tomorrow with a chance of showers through the overnight. We'll reach a high near 73 and a low around 49. And breezy with rain expected on Thursday. Look for a high near 57 and a low around 29. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Are you ready? It's time to find out what is on the mind of Eddie Crow. It's something to crow about on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. Now, here's the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
All right. Tom Young is here. Tom Young of First Consultants. He's on our Facebook page. Well, we're on our Facebook page. This is being live streamed. And if you don't know, from time to time, how many times have you filled in for me? Because it's been more than a couple at this point. Wait a minute. I'm messing with you.
First time was 3 days.
Yeah.
And then there was another 3 days.
Yeah.
And then recently it was 2 days.
Coinciding with 3 and 2 days suspensions. Thank you for helping a brother. So what have you learned so far about doing my job? I've heard you when you have played or out of town. I listen on the app, but you have the same enthusiasm when you fill in for me as you do when you come in and you talk about your business.
Eddie, why wouldn't I?
A lot of people don't.
I mean, I just what I learned from you is a 3-hour show has 6 segments.
Okay.
And so I would just create a series of notes and topics for that segment.
Right.
And
come prepared.
Well, isn't that the name of the game? I don't care what you do in life. Did you come prepared today?
Did you show up with your number 2 pencil?
Did you show up with your thinking? You know, whatever it is you do, you have to show up ready for the show, or whatever it is you're doing. You've got to be ready.
And if you're not, that clock rolls backwards.
Well, that brings me back, to the question. Let me give a commercial. I'm Tom Young with First Consultants in Beaver, PA. I challenge you to come visit me for 45 minutes. I make you 2 promises. I won't ask you to buy a thing, and it won't be a second meeting unless you desire it. And I do not charge a fee. I look at what I do as a service to the Lord above with my 49 years of experience and all the initials after my name. So I've taken all of the courses over the years, and I know what's going on. And a lot of it is just the financial world wanting control of your money. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm on 3rd Street in Beaver, phone number 724-728-6820. My website is www.1stconsultantsinc.com. And if you go there, it's brand new. We're just redoing the site right now. And I got an email yesterday from my webmaster that they just put the new site up, made some changes and some things on it. So if something ain't working, don't worry, it'll get fixed real quick. But I want to offer you my books. I have 2 books recently. One is The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, and the other one is Financial Mastery Coaching, the Blueprint. Now, the Financial Mastery Coaching, the Blueprint is ebook only. It's online. And the Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, if you send me an email with your name and address and all that information on it in your email, I will actually mail you an autographed copy of my book. Otherwise, you can go to CFO-project.com. That's CFO, Chief Financial Officer, -project.com. Put in your name and email address. You will get an email with a link that will allow you to download both of those books for free. No hooks, no, cover to cover, both books. This is an opportunity, folks, because I look at what I do as a life and death situation because, yeah, maybe you're alive at retirement, but you have to take such a reduction in lifestyle that you wish you were dead. I know we have all met people that are chronologically gifted in those retirement years of their life, and they are miserable because they don't have enough for them to live their lifestyle the way they hoped it would have been.
Right.
That's what I do for a living. I help people find money they're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily, show them how to get it back and turn it into real financial wealth by avoiding the government, avoiding losses, getting out of debt, all of those things. You need to be in control of all of your money all of the time. So it's a process. And the system that is out there, they don't want you to know this stuff because they have 4 rules. And I've talked about, I want all your money, I want more ongoing, I want to keep it forever, and I want to give back as little as possible. And think about it, that's what happens. And the simplest way I can explain it, you go to work and you put all you can in your 401k because that's what they tell you.
Yes.
And I remember 49 years ago when I started, we were selling IRAs. And even back then, you could put life insurance in your IRA. They had specifically designed life insurance policies that were high cash value, that were designed to be part of your IRA. And in that process of saving all that money, putting it away, taking money, throwing it as far as you can into the future with very little access without taxes and possibly severe penalties to get at that money.
If you needed it, it was going to cost you.
It's not available.
It's your money,
and so
but not.
If I need to buy a car, I need to buy a furnace, I need to make a capital purchase, Eddie, where do you typically go get that money at?
Hi, bank.
Go see the financial one says, hey, go see my friend the banker, and he will loan you the money you need. So now you're going to pay interest. And the example that I use is very simple. You're 25 years old. You just get out of college. You got your first real paying job making $40,000 a year or whatever, and you need a car. So your dad goes with you to the dealership and you buy either a slightly used car or a very small new car for $25,000. And today that makes me sick when I look in the paper. My neighbor, he's a client, just bought a pickup truck. A pickup truck, Eddie, $76,000 for a pickup truck.
It is a very nice pickup truck, though.
It is. But here you are. You bought the car, $25,000. You go to the bank, you borrow the money at 8% interest. And that's good today because now the car loans are 9 and 10. So car loan, 8% interest, 60 months. In 60 months, you've paid $5,400 in interest to the bank. That $5,400, if you had invested that at 8% interest, Standard & Poor's, for the next, till you're 70 years old, that interest, that $5,400, would grow to $253,000. So by doing and playing the game the way they want you to play the game, you've given up all your wealth because that loss, that interest you paid, but the most important part of it is the opportunity cost.
That's
the interest you could have earned on your dollar had you kept it, okay? And that's where the banking function comes in, and we'll talk about that. But that now every 5 years you buy another car. And at 70 years old, you've now lost $770,000
at $5,000 a pop with the interest.
Exactly. So now you didn't die at 70, Eddie. You lived to be 90.
Dang it!
That $770,000 is closer to $3 million.
Oh, I'm living good at 92.
So the average family, on average, loses between $2 and $3 million over their lifetime, that for the most part of it is recapturable in some way. But who really wants you to know that, Eddie? Wouldn't that take the business away from the banks? Wouldn't that take business away from the financial world and Wall Street?
I'm going to assume, and this makes me even madder, the money that the bank gives, the $5,000, right? I'm assuming that they're not just putting it away; they are investing in it.
No, they're investing it into a loan to somebody else, and that's where the fractional banking comes in.
Yeah.
Because you give the bank $1, You know, they loan it out to somebody else. Now, to make a loan at the bank, don't you have to have collateral, Eddie?
Yes, you do.
You got to put up some collateral, and the collateral is always worth more than the balance on the loan, okay?
Yes, it is.
It never leaves the bank in a lurch. They take the collateral you signed over to the bank. Remember that auto loan you had? When you got the title, wasn't the bank's name on the title of the car?
Yes, it was.
And they got the title. You didn't even get the title till it was paid for, and there was actually a release of the title by the bank. So here you are. You're going to put your money in the bank, and they loan it out to person A. Person A puts up collateral and then pays the bank interest for a loan, just like you did with your car loan. Yep. They take the collateral that you put up. They go to the Federal Reserve window because they're all part of the system, the Federal Reserve banking system. And so the Federal Reserve loans them money back to the bank so they can loan it out to person B. Person B puts up collateral to get a loan. The bank takes that collateral, goes to the Federal Reserve window, and puts up that collateral, and they get money back from the Federal Reserve. Now, the Federal Reserve, a couple years ago, was loaning money to member banks at 0.25% was what the banks were paying in interest.
Oh, that's a great business model.
To get that loan, and then they loan it out to person C. Right. You get the idea? And A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So
at 8%.
On average, 7 turns. That is fractional banking.
That's a scam.
It is in violation of our Constitution. If I brought up my paper from Nassar Jassar, we've talked about this.
Yes.
The National Economic Security and Reform Act. And it's interesting now. I brought this today because I want to mention a couple of things. What is Trump doing? The IRS is going to go away. Isn't that what he's saying? They've already created the ERS, the External Revenue Service, to collect the tariffs from around the world for people that want to do business in America.
Okay.
But no income tax on Social Security, no income tax on, what I saw the other day was no income tax on those making $150,000 or less. No income tax.
I'm down with both of those.
So isn't it interesting? Now, this document was created about 1999. Okay, this isn't new, and here it is. It zeroes out all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. This is a Federal Reserve's worst nightmare. Now, what does that mean?
That's the great
Fractional
reset.
banking is not legal under our Constitution. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we talk about the Constitution, the Republic of the United States, not the U.S. government corporation that was created under Franklin Roosevelt to borrow money, to be able to borrow money for Europe. And people say, well, that can't be. I says, well, let me ask you a question. The District of Columbia, in the U.S., District of Columbia,
right.
Why has it ever become a state? It's never become a state. Why? Why is that? Do you think there might be something there that is owned? There's an ownership thing in the D.C. area that might be attached to England or the Rothschilds or something like that? Why has D.C. never become a state?
I've never thought about that.
Okay. Abolishes the income tax.
You just
Item number
planted
2.
a seed in my head,
Abolishes the IRS. The employees of the IRS will be transferred into the U.S. Treasury National Sales Tax area.
Okay.
Well, isn't that what a tariff is? Isn't that a sort of a sales tax on foreign goods coming into the country? Well, I would rather pay a 14% sales tax on anything I had to purchase new and not have to pay any income tax. Because then I can choose what I want to buy, how much I want to pay for it, and therefore how much tax I would pay on an item. So that's sort of what they're talking about, a 14% flat rate, non-essential, new items only sales tax revenue for the government. Now, if you stand back and you listen to what's going on in what Trump is talking about, some of this is being implemented right now.
Are we moving in the right direction?
I believe so.
Okay.
I truly believe so. I think it's the only direction that has the possibility to save America. It really is. It is not going to be fun. It's going to be painful for a lot of people. But I think if America all of a sudden was deemed bankrupt because of the debt, Eddie,
Yeah.
Imagine in your mind what would happen to everything and everybody. Everything would be gone. I mean, think about that. The government is bankrupt.
Okay.
That would be, which would you rather have? Would you rather have the government bankrupt and everything is lost, okay? Or have a plan to reinstitute the republic of the U.S. government and go to a dollar that's backed by gold, silver, and platinum, precious metals the way it was originally, before the politicians screwed it all up, because it was all about politicians. It always has been. And remember my famous word, politics. Poly is many, ticks are blood-sucking insects. Sorry, folks. It just... and it's on both sides. There are rhinos on the Republican side as well as the Democrats on the other side. And they have not only shot themselves in the foot this round, they have chopped it off. And for them to continue to rail against boys, biological boys and men in women's locker rooms, this is ludicrous. I'll let it go.
The Democrat, no, you won't. The Democrats have never been more disliked than right now.
They're at, I think, 26%.
Yeah,
is where they're at right now. Yeah. And Trump is at the highest recognition that he's ever been at before, ever. And I think higher than any president has been for a long, long time in office for what he's doing. And folks, I understand it's going to be painful. And then we got these idiot judges out there, to stop deporting criminals that come from other countries. They're not U.S. citizens. Some of them don't even have a green card. And this judge thinks he's God, and he's going to stop Trump from sending these people out of the country. What is wrong here? This makes no logical sense to me, other than it's true that the deep, deep, deep state exists, and they are fighting with every straw that they can throw at Trump. And there's dozens of lawsuits right now against everything that he's doing. Who would want to stop Doge from finding the fraud and the misuse of our money and our tax dollars? They're paying 3 million people, 33,600,000 people at 150 years old, supposedly getting a Social Security check. And they say Social Security is going to go bankrupt. Well, no wonder. The misuse and mishandling of our money and everything that's going on. Let's wake up, folks. Let's wake up and get on the boat to prosperity. It's really what it's all about. I've ran it on for 20 minutes.
No. What you've done is provide a pretty dead-on promo for my show here when we're done.
Oh, okay.
Because just about every one of the things you just talked about, I've got scribbled down that I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
So I appreciate
Let me spend 8 minutes talking about the most magical product that exists.
Okay.
That everybody with some intelligence would want to own it. It's called life insurance. Now, I'll ask you a question, Eddie.
Okay.
If you could buy life insurance on your life, and the only thing you have to be is healthy to buy it, and there's zero out-of-pocket costs to buy it, how much would you want to own?
As much as they would sell me.
All they will issue, and they will not allow you to be overinsured. It's called economic human life value, which is a multiplier of your annual income at a given age. So they have a formula to tell you, just like your homeowners. Your homeowners company, they tell you what the house is worth, but they won't allow you to insure it for more than the house is worth to replace your house.
Right.
Same with your automobile. But it's funny, isn't it funny that we, the goose that lays the golden eggs, as I call us, those that work, whether you're male or female, you're making the paycheck, you're the goose that lays the golden eggs.
Yeah.
Now, which would be the right way to insure, Eddie, the golden eggs or the goose?
I'm going to hang on to the goose.
I want to hang on to the goose.
Yeah, the means of production.
So now, if we look at life insurance that way, and let me explain. Let me start from my 30,000-foot view I always refer to.
Okay.
There's about 850 companies in America that sell some kind of life insurance, okay? Mm-hmm. We'll get into types in a minute. But out of that 850 or so companies, 99.9% of them are all corporations that work for their stockholders and make money for their stockholders.
Yes, they
The other
do.
0.1%, and today, in my mind, there's only 6 or 8 of these companies left that are truly a mutual life insurance company, a dividend-paying mutual company that's owned by the policyholders. Now, think about it. If there wasn't any profit in the life insurance company, why would 99% of them be corporations and making money for stockholders that invested in the company? And folks, if you go to work and look at your 401k, I'll bet you'll find some of those insurance companies in your 401k that's being managed, and you're there because you believe there's profit.
That's a
well, if
blue
there's
chip.
that much profit to be made in life insurance, I want access to it, and I can have access by owning a policy with a dividend-paying mutual life insurance company. And let me say, you can go online and buy it. I'm going to show you. This man, R. Nelson Nash, created a book called The Infinite Banking Concept. And it's a concept. But it's about taking the banking function, and that's what refers to in my book, The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project. Are we not all CFOs in everything we do? You trade time for money.
When I
you
write
bring it
checks,
home,
yes,
and your
I am.
household is a financial business.
Yes, it is.
If you want to run it that way. But
I'm
again, if you
trying.
don't run it that way, then you're going to be guaranteed to be in the 95% of the dead or dead broke. Folks, give yourself a chance to come and sit with me for 45 minutes. 724-728-6820. I promise you, I'm not going to ask you to buy anything, but I believe I can change the end of your movie. I can't go back in time and start over, but I can maybe change the end of the movie. God bless you all.
Tom, you're the best, man.
Here is a question that's very easy to answer. Would you rather be sold something or get professional help and advice that ultimately leads to a strategy that best suits your needs? Tom Young at First Consultants Inc. in Beaver has a unique approach that has won over the trust of even the most skeptical clients.
Everybody that's selling is looking for a profit. I focus on creating strategies that are in the client's best interest.
Ask yourself this: what have you got to lose? The answer might be a fortune. Get financial strategies instead of a pitch about a product. Visit firstconsultantsinc.com or be a part of Tom Young's live simulcast presentation on the third Tuesday of each month beginning at 9:10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio and Facebook Live. All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is in no way affiliated with First Consultants Inc., nor is First Consultants Inc. a registered investment advisor.
Our Lady of the Valley Parish is inviting you to one of the best Lenten fish fries in the Valley at the St. Cecilia Hall on California Avenue in Rochester. The fish fries get underway on Friday, March the 7th, and will be every Friday throughout the Lenten season from 11 a.m. to 6